job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bankin. It's another day of postseason baseball with two games in the National League Division Series. The first game will be Game 2 between the Phillies and Dodgers from Philadelphia, with L.A. looking to go up 2-0. Phillies outfielder Harrison Bader is not in the lineup for today's game after suffering a groin injury in Saturday's Game 1. You can hear Phillies-Dodgers as well as the second game between the Cubs and Brewers on ESPN Radio. Our coverage gets underway from Philadelphia at 5:30 Eastern. Then come the Cubs and Brewers from Milwaukee. The Brewers looking for a 2-0 series lead after blowing out the Cubs in Game 1. Tonight on Monday Night Football, it's an AFC showdown in Jacksonville where the Jaguars will host the Chiefs. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum talked about tonight's matchup.
The resurging Chief offense, Tyquan Thornton played really well. We're seeing Xavier Worthy get back. We're just another week or so before Rashee Rice gets back. Jaguars lead the league in turnovers, so I think if the Chiefs play a clean game, I like them.
That game will be seen on ABC and ESPN. Kansas City receiver Xavier Worthy listed as questionable, but ESPN Jeremy Fowler reports he should be able to play. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Patriots running back Antonio Gibson suffered a torn ACL last night.
Patriots resident Super Bowl champ Chris Kennedy coming up Tuesday. My former head coach, Super Bowl winner Tom Coughlin, joins us in studio at 9 a.m. Eastern to go around the league. It's unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Saints get a win. Brian Kelly has the Tigers back at work. Peter Burns in 1 hour. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Special day for two people. Kellen Moore gets his victory, but Spencer Rattler gets victory after 0 for 10 as a starter, 0 for 11 overall. Can't be more happy for both of those guys. Saints win it 26-14.
Mike Hollis on the call on the New Orleans Saints radio network as the Houdats finally break through, get in the win column. 26-14, the Saints beat the G-men there in the Dome. And there were a lot of notables there. It was very nice to see Kellen Moore get his first win as a head coach. It was nice to see Spencer Rattler get his first win as starting quarterback of the Saints after an 0 for 10 start. That was the first win overall for the Saints since December the 8th, incidentally, at the Giants. It was the first win in the Superdome since November 17th of last year against Cleveland. And maybe most improbably, that was the first win by a Saints quarterback draft pick since Danny Werfel in 1998. The last time a quarterback drafted by the New Orleans Saints won a football game. Danny Werfel in 1998, Spencer Rattler 2025. Incredible. I got some observations about the game itself I'd like to dive into. It's hard to start anywhere other than the defense turning the Giants over on 5 consecutive possessions. You want to win football games in the NFL? Turn your opponent over 5 times successfully. That will, successively, I should say. That'll do it an awful lot of the time. After Giants went touchdown, they went punt, fumble, return for a touchdown, interception. Then they turned it over on downs to end the game. And maybe most importantly, with all the turnovers, is the fact that it was some of your young guys. Now, the super important one was Demario Davis with the strip. But you had Brian Brzee with a forced fumble. You had, obviously, Jordan Howden with the scoop and score. You had Jonas Sanker with a fumble recovery as well. And you had Kool-Aid McKinstry with 2 interceptions. One of the things we've sort of consistently said throughout this preseason and into the first month of this season is I'm less concerned with the wins and losses and what that looks like, because if we're being perfectly honest, the wins are going to be few and far between for this New Orleans Saints team. I'm more interested in seeing this team continue to grow and develop its young talent. And that is, I think, paramount. And when you look at key moments in this game, young players were at the center of a lot of those moments. And that's great to see. Not only young players, but young guys that use draft picks on were at the center of those moments. That was great to see. It wasn't all great. You did have some issues, and special teams continues to be really a bit of a bugaboo on this team. And remember, Darren Rizzi was the special teams guru forever for the Saints. They were quite good on special teams for a long time. Rizzi was your interim coach. Obviously wasn't retained. They promoted Phil Galliano, and that's been a disaster. The opening kickoff, you were down at the 9-yard line. The second kickoff, Velus Jones took the knee going into the end zone, so the ball came out to the 20. Kendre Miller returned one out to the 16. I mean, your starting field position was atrocious because you kept getting punked on special teams. You had a 32-yard punt in the fourth quarter where you chose not to go for it on a 4th and 1, up 2 scores, which was the right call, by the way. You don't want to miss and give them a short field the opportunity to get back in it. You want to make them drive the length of the field. When they keep turning the ball over, and they hadn't scored since the first quarter. And you shank a 32-yard punt. You missed 2 field goals, which Blake Grupe now is 10 of 15 on the season. How he's still employed today, I don't know. That's the harsh reality. You can like him because of the funny story about him looking young and the security thinking that he was a fan, not realizing he was a player. All that's fine and good, and that he was great in camp. He's at 66% on the season. NFL kickers, you want to be north of 80%. He's at 66. He's 10 of 15. He's missed 5 kicks. He missed 2 yesterday. You played 5 games. He's missed 5 kicks. Like, you can't miss on an average of 1 a game. And he's doing that right now, which is atrocious. It's costing you. It cost you an opportunity to win the first 2 weeks. And you do have some other mistakes that are continuing. Listen, Rashid Shaheed had an offside penalty. Alvin Kamara had a terrible drop when you're trying to drive for a touchdown. You had a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line, and Torselli Simpkins false started, and you ended up kicking a field goal because you got behind the sticks. You had the 2 missed field goals that I mentioned. So it's far from perfect. And that's obviously why this isn't a very good team. But you can see them making progress, and it's kind of like, you'll get this visual as I explain it. You know, like sometimes in cartoons, there's a leak in a wall, and so you use their finger to sort of plug the leak, and then another leak sprouts in another spot. And so then you try to plug that one, and another leak sprouts in another. That's kind of the Saints. They keep addressing these issues right now, moment by moment, one by one, but other issues are popping up. You still had, look, you thought a week ago you'd fix your penalty issue. After double-digit penalties, only 4 last week against Buffalo. Well, in the first half of this game, penalties became an issue again. A key pass interference against Kool-Aid McKinstry allowed New York to continue their opening drive, which they ultimately scored on. I just mentioned you were 1st and goal from the 7, a false start put you behind the sticks. so you're still having some of those moments. But you're continuing to improve in other ways as well. The Saints are protecting the football. It was nice to put together drives in this ball game and to build a lead and to maintain it. So your defense pitched a shutout in the second half, which was great to see. So you are in areas improving, but you still have a lot of work to do. Kool-Aid McKinstry came away with 2 interceptions. And that's going to look good on the stat sheet, but if we're being completely candid, the first interception was a bad decision to catch that football. I mean, he didn't make a great play. It was a punt, effectively. And he caught it and went out of bounds at the 5-yard line, whereas if he knocks it down, you get the ball at the 40. And the one later in the game was just an atrocious throw as Dart was trying to salvage something. He threw it over the middle. Acrobatic catch by McKinstry, but it wasn't like he was in great coverage. And he had the PI, and he got Big Boyd on the touchdown, where he basically got pushed to the ground by a big dude. So there's a lot of room for growth across the board. But nice to see the offensive line not give up a sack against arguably the best defensive front in football, which we knew was going to be just a key part of this game, to not let that Giants defensive front wreck you. Kendre Miller looks reborn. He looks like a brand new player in this offense, as opposed to all of the issues they had in the Dennis Allen era, where Allen was saying, in camp, you can't make the team if you're in the training room. And there was so much angst there from both those sides. But you can continue to check boxes of things that are improving and players that are playing well that you can continue to build toward. So now the Saints will look forward to welcoming in the Giants. After beating the Giants, welcoming in the Patriots, who we talked about last week was one of the really intriguing teams in the NFL because they were 2-2, but their wins had come against Carolina and Miami. They lost to the Raiders and to Pittsburgh. So you wondered how good they were. Well, they went on Sunday Night Football to Buffalo and beat the Bills. Now the Patriots come to New Orleans. It's a great opportunity for the Saints to try to piece together another win here, try to win back-to-back games, which is something that, obviously I don't know there's going to be many of those opportunities this year for these New Orleans Saints to do that. And when you look, at when the last time they won back-to-back games, you'd have to go, back to the beginning of the season a year ago when they started the season 2-0, and then in weeks 10 and 11 they beat Atlanta and Cleveland in the Dome. Before then they would go on to lose 5 of their last 6. So an opportunity to win back-to-back games for the first time since November 10th and 17th, weeks 10 and 11 a year ago, and we'll see if they can do it. But Saints get on the board. They beat the Giants. Kellen Moore gets his first win. Spencer Rattler gets his first win, which is great to see, 26-14. And because everybody likes to criticize when we get things wrong, and we deserve it, how about your boy? I picked the score 26-16. I was tap dancing all over it. How about that, huh? Yeah. Okay, I'll take it.
That's strong. Yeah, man. Here, give you a ding there.
I'll take it. It's proof. It's on the internet. This is on the internet and something that actually did happen. And you can believe that I did actually say it. It was not AI. It was not an AI-generated me after the game use. It happened before.
On Friday, as a matter
of
fact.
Yes, on Friday before the game. All right, Saints win. LSU on the bye. Now the Tigers will get ready for South Carolina. Brian Kelly on Monday met with reporters to kind of give an injury update and start previewing that game. We are brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with great taste of Bud Light. The official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints, and the official beer of AFR. So if you're already planning your tailgate or your game watch for this coming weekend, be it Saturday out at Tiger Stadium for a Saturday night game against South Carolina, or next Sunday in the Dome with the New England Patriots coming in, make sure that you hit your favorite retailer and grab plenty of ice-cold Bud Light in the officially licensed New Orleans Saints cans or the officially licensed LSU cans with that awesome Tiger Head logo, the white can and 16-ounce aluminum bottle, all a hat tip to LSU's tradition of wearing white jerseys at home. You can pick it up at great local retailers anywhere that you're going to buy beer. It's Bud Light. Drink easy with a great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. As we mentioned, Brian Kelly met with reporters, started to get to preview the South Carolina game, and most notably updated a handful of injuries to key players. We'll let you know how all that's going when we come back here on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, The Renaissance Baton Rouge is right there on Bluebonnet near I-10. And this Friday, that's where your Fighting Tigers of LSU will be setting up shop, because Friday before every LSU home game, LSU football ops moves into Renaissance Baton Rouge. Of course, they're not going to stay on campus the night before a home game. So they go somewhere where they can have their team together, away from the madness of it all, and continue to prepare. And Renaissance Baton Rouge is perfect for that, which is why I always like to tell you, no matter what event you have coming up, Renaissance Baton Rouge is perfect to host your next event. As a matter of fact, I'll be at an event this Thursday for KKDL, Carnival Crew Day, Louisiana, which is a fundraising Mardi Gras ball, charitable Mardi Gras ball. I'll be at that event Thursday at Renaissance Baton Rouge. So if it's a fundraiser, if it's an awards banquet, if it's some type of dance, a wedding reception, they can host you there at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, glad you're hanging with us on this Monday from the Raising Cane studio. We always appreciate Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. A ton to do. Peter Burns will be here in about 45 minutes at the top of hour 2. It always seems to pass, doesn't it? Whenever you have the sort of slow, sleepy weekends, you end up with some crazy upsets, and that happened. Florida clipping Texas, Penn State losing at UCLA, which is almost unfathomable. But the preseason number 1 and 2 teams in college football, Texas and Penn State, now their playoff hopes are on life support the first weekend in October. Crazy. We'll get into all of it with Peter Burns coming up here in about 45 minutes from right now. Tigers turn the page to South Carolina, and couldn't come soon enough, because losing sucks. Losing going into your open date really sucks because then you just chew on that loss for 2 weeks. Had LSU been preparing for another game this past weekend, yes, everyone would have complained about the loss on Monday, probably would have bled into Tuesday, but by the time you would have got to midweek, it would have been full throttle toward the game that Saturday. But we ended up really just divulging into this this conversation about LSU and the offense and what ails it. And I think so many people over the course of a week have compounded the issues to forget the fact that LSU right now, after some upsets, is up to 11th in the country. They're 4-1. You beat Clemson, and say what you will about Clemson, you were still an underdog in that game. So you've split 2 games as an underdog, and you're going to be favored in your next 3. And if you win those and you end up going into your second open date before November, you'll have 4 games to play. You'll be favored heavily at home against Kentucky and against Arkansas and Western Kentucky. And you'll have road games against Bama and Oklahoma. And if you split those 2, you're 10-2 and you're in the playoff. Now, you may laugh and roll your eyes and say LSU can't take anything for granted. And I agree with you. If they go play the way they did against Ole Miss, they'll get beat again multiple times. It'll be a really disappointing season. But you're still sitting there right now at 4-1. You're ranked 11th in the country, and everything is still in front of you. So let's see if they're healthy coming out of the bye and how they may look this week with South Carolina coming in. And, of course, the questions had to start with the health of a lot of key players, and that was what Brian Kelly clarified on Monday.
I think Weston is a go. Caden is a go. Nuss is a go. Paul is questionable, and Anderson is a probable.
Obviously, a few things there. Nuss is going to be at the center of everyone's conversation, but also the injuries on the offensive line. So Weston Davis, your starting right tackle, is a go. Garrett Nussmeier's a go. Caden Durham's a go. That's awesome. Paul Mabenga, questionable. Aaron Anderson, probable. So, listen, when you're 121st in the country and running the football, having your starting running back and potentially 2 starters on the offensive line returning, it would stand to reason that that's going to help you. It would only be a positive having those guys back. But everybody wants to talk about Nussmeier. And it's one of the things that Brian Kelly said, remember, after Florida, was that they were going to shut him down. Remember, this was not new. After Florida, that Monday after Florida, Brian Kelly said they were going to shut Nuss down during the open date, and that only then would he be able to get fully healthy. Well, Kelly elaborated a bit more on shutting Nuss down here in this bye week. It's 12.
He's feeling better and better. We didn't do a lot with him last week. We wanted to use that as a recovery week for him. Obviously he did a lot with VR. He stayed involved in everything that we're doing, run game checks, blitz checks, things of that nature. But we just cut him down from, the throwing. And obviously we're going to go out today. We'll get a bonus day in terms of being able to practice today. So our expectations after talking to him is he feels good and he's ready to go.
So I know at this point through 5 games, if you are doubting Nussmeier's health, nothing Brian Kelly or anyone says is going to convince you otherwise. You're going to have to see it. That's fine. I'm not here to convince. This thing has been litigated plenty publicly. I'm not going to convince you of anything. But Kelly effectively said, look, they shut him down. He didn't throw during the open date to let him heal. Hopefully more and more. Did a lot with VR. Went through the mental reps. So let's see how healthy from 2 weeks from Ole Miss to South Carolina, how healthy he can be and how much more efficient, effective this offense can be. One more, Kelly was asked to follow up about what exactly Nuss was doing.
Yeah, Nuss was involved in the entire practice. We just didn't have him throw. He threw with a towel, which is just getting the motions and keeping the arm ready. But he did essentially all of the mental work for what we had for the days on the field.
So that's the good news, okay? So Nuss, what everybody wanted to hear. They shut him down for the week, went through the mental reps, should be good, physically ready to go. My assertion all along has been the sluggish offense is less about Garrett Nussmeier being injured to whatever degree. Not here to litigate that again. It's been more the fact that your offensive line has been so poor. Brian Kelly said it. You saw 86% drop 8 against Ole Miss. 86% of their snaps, Ole Miss dropped 8 into coverage, rush 3. You still couldn't run the ball, didn't try to run the ball, and you couldn't protect Garrett Nussmeier. They're getting pressure with 3. They're dropping 8 into coverage. Like, That's a problem. Your offensive line has to be better. And Brian Kelly talked about, I thought the most interesting thing here with respect to these injuries is what they may do. Because, remember, Weston Davis missed the Ole Miss game. He was concussed in pregame, so Karius Kern starts at right tackle. You didn't have DJ Chester. Remember, he was suspended for the first half of the game. And then you lose Paul Mabenga mid-game, or in the third quarter, due to the ankle sprain, and Cohen Eccles played the rest of the game at left guard. So Chester didn't go in. You ended up playing true freshman Kern and redshirt freshman Eccles at right guard and left tackle, respectively, for the remainder of the game. Now, Karius Kern played really well. He was your second highest graded offensive lineman for the game against Ole Miss. And Brian Kelly was asked if there's competition now it's 18. If Weston Davis coming back, if there's competition there with Kern.
You know, Weston Davis obviously couldn't play in the Ole Miss game, but look, he's got some snaps underneath him. Karius is there. If Weston needs a blow, we can also look at Karius inside at the guard position now that, Paul is banged up. So we've got some flexibility with Karius to move him into the guard position or the tackle position.
Now that part right there, the end of that is the most important part, where Brian Kelly says we have flexibility to move Karius into the guard position or at tackle. Remember, we have not seen Karius Kern play guard up until this point. Every snap he has taken has been at tackle. Remember, all throughout camp, he was working as the number 2 left tackle behind Tyree Adams. 12 days before the opener, we saw him taking reps with the ones at right tackle in place of Weston Davis. Weston Davis gets concussed, isn't available. DJ Chester not available for the first half. Kern starts at right tackle. Also, remember, and I asked Brian Kelly this, whenever the second half begins and Chester's available, they didn't put DJ Chester in at right tackle. They stuck with Kern at right tackle. Here was Brian Kelly Monday when I asked him why.
Because what we saw in the first half, essentially, I think if there were major issues, Matt, Brad and I would have probably made a decision there to make the change. But we felt like Karius was giving us good energy. He was protecting our edge really well in the passing game. There were a couple of mistakes inside out, which we expected that was going to happen. But by and large, we felt like let's let the young guy play. And that was kind of our sense.
Last week, when Brian Kelly met with reporters, he drew a comparison with Kern to Emory Jones as a freshman. And if you remember what happened, Emory didn't start the first game. He came in rotation in the second game. I believe that it was against Southern in the second game. And by the third game, which I think was Mississippi State, he was starting. And it just got to the point where they looked around and realized, look, man, he's going to make some mistakes, but he's athletic, he's physical, and you'd rather him make those mistakes, learn, and just keep getting better because the ceiling's so high. And they got to the point where it was eventually just the reality that he was one of your best 5 offensive linemen. And I kind of get the sense that that's where they're trending right now with Karius Kern. For what it's worth, on the season so far, if you look at blocking grades through 5 games on the season, Josh Thompson, like pass blocking, Thompson, Mabenga, Kern. That's on the season so far. It's just, and I know it hasn't been great at times. It's actually been pretty bad at times across the board for the offensive line. I think aside from Braylon Moore has been your best guy. You're looking for your best 5. And I think what we're seeing is Kern is sort of vying for that spot to be considered among the best 5. And maybe that's Weston Davis's spot at right tackle. Maybe that's Paul Mabenga's spot at left guard. I don't know, but I do believe this weekend will be very telling. Because they, always say, actions speak louder than words. Brian Kelly can tell us there's no competition at right tackle. It's Weston Davis's job. They can tell us they like Kern at tackle instead of guard, whatever. But Chester is the 6th man. He's the first one up at any spot. When you had the opportunity to put Chester in on the road against Ole Miss, you didn't. You stuck with Kern. That is way more illustrative than anything he says. So Karius Kern this week, I think this week and moving forward, becomes a fascinating figure on this team because it is very clear your weakest unit is your offensive line. It is your worst unit on the team. And I don't even know that that's debatable. And if you're looking for how do you improve it, well, if the young 5-star can get in there and start moving bodies and give you some athleticism, either at guard or tackle, and make you better, you're going to make that move. And I do think before this season's over, we're going to see Karius Kern become a starter on this offensive line. The question is where. And Brian Kelly saying they have flexibility to play him at guard or tackle is telling that they're considering ways to get him on the field. And as I understand, Paul Mabenga's ankle sprain, and Brian Kelly said today that he's questionable. I was told last week that Mabenga's ankle sprain is maybe a little severe, and that of all the guys injured, that's the one they're most concerned about being ready for South Carolina. And if you're looking going, all right, if you don't have Mabenga, do you want Eccles, do you want Kern? Eccles has more reps at guard. Kern's the better player with a higher upside. Something to watch as we go through this week is what they do with Karius Kern and across that offensive line. We'll, of course, follow it right here. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Honest to goodness, true story. I'm at Rouses today buying Evermore, seriously, and I'm in the checkout line, and a lady behind me says, I love that your shoes match your shirt. And I was like, don't think that was by accident. And she goes, oh, I know. I'll listen to you all the time. Shout out. Her name is Lori, I asked. And she said, and you know what she said to me? She said, yep, Thursday I'll be over at the Williamson Eye Center. I'm getting LASIK because of you. Said, told my husband to do it for 5 years. He had to listen to you for 5 years, tell him, finally went and did it. So her husband had LASIK, and now she's going Thursday to have LASIK. And she asked me if I was going to tell this story on air. I said, if you tell me your name, I will. And she told me her name was Lori. So shout out to Lori, a new patient at the Williamson Eye Center who's going to have LASIK this Thursday. You should do like Lori, like her husband, like Paul O'Neill, like I did, and call the Williamson Eye Center. You want to ditch your contacts and glasses forever? Call 924-2020. No matter your age or your refractive issue, they've got a procedure available to you to let you see 20/20 without contacts and glasses. Ditch those readers. Stop squinting at the screen. Call 924-2020. 924-2020 or go to WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. Go around the SEC. When we come back, Amuse Paulie and I, every Thursday, we tell you 3 things we're watching for the football weekend. We come back on Monday, tell you how it went. We call it What We Learned. We'll get to that here in about 15 minutes. Peter Burns, half an hour from right now. A ton to do. I'm glad you're hanging out with us here on a Monday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Want to feel your best? Who doesn't, right? Sometimes you don't even know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again. And Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness helps men do just that every single day. And I'm not just talking about ED. Yes, they do ED treatments. Pills and lots of other different treatments as well. If you're suffering from ED, they can help you. But they do so much more than that. Hormone replacement therapy is a massive part of their business. No human is exempt. As we age, our body produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. You can safely, affordably supplement to get to healthy levels so you start feeling like your younger self again. And that's only where the magic begins. They have so many other treatments and therapies for things like muscle repair and recovery and hormonal imbalance and anxiety and sleep. I'm telling you, if you want to feel your best, live your optimal life, you need Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
It is the speed at the bottom of the screen. Pressure's coming. Dort doesn't see it. Granderson untouched and a flag is down.
I mean, one of the worst calls I've ever seen. And I was in the building for the Nola no call. Bronson Bridges on the text line. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bronson said, can you please explain why Carl Granderson got penalized for his sack? No, Bronson, I can't. Kellen Moore was asked the same thing on Monday.
I saw a sack. Yeah, it's disappointing just because obviously you're trying to educate your players, and when you don't feel like as a coach you have an answer to help educate your players on how to play the game, that's frustrating because obviously you coach to give those guys the best chance to be successful, and obviously it's going to be a great opportunity for us to learn ultimately whatever the opinion of that play is because it's a frustrating play when you do so much good, and that's a frustrating one as a coach. You feel like you're helpless in that situation.
It came in a key situation late in the game as the Saints were protecting a 2-score lead and trying to put the game away. And this effectively would have done it, not to mention other things that a lot of people mention, like you have incentives, for sacks and different things like that in contracts, which I don't know that this impacts Granderson. Maybe by the end of the season it could. I don't know his contract, but there's a lot of things like that baked in that matter very much. I had a listener say he had a prop bet on an anytime sack. So he lost an anytime sack prop bet. I'm not suggesting that the officials called that in any way that it was nefarious to do with betting or anything like that. It's just an atrocious call. So can I explain? No, I can't because I don't know. I know I'm not saying anything different than any of you think or thought or saw or said. I don't know what else there is to say. The one thing that you look for in those moments are leading with the crown of the helmet, which he did not do, helmet-to-helmet contact of a defenseless player, which did not happen, and landing your full body weight on the quarterback, which is the other red flag because it's sort of the Aaron Rodgers. Remember when Rodgers broke his collarbone when the defender landed on him, and the league is going to go to great lengths to protect quarterbacks, which I get it. I mean, they're your money makers. They're the attraction, and you need those guys. Yeah, look at what's happened with Cincinnati. I mean, not that there was a dirty play or anything with Burrow. Just look at the interest level in Cincinnati with Burrow, without Burrow. It's just look at what happened with the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. That's really because the rest of the Ravens are bums and they couldn't. Coop did all he could. I mean, look, my guy went out there and played his best. But when you got a team of bums around you, what more can you do? Right?
They're real bad. The Ravens have won the division in the last 2 or so years.
Hey.
Doorstep of the Super Bowl.
Hey,
They're horrible.
4-10. Here's my question, Muse. Did Coop give up 44 points?
No, but
he
only contributed to scoring 10.
That's right. That Ravens defense, that awful Ravens defense gave up 44. Not my guy Coop.
Yeah.
Pick him up, Ravens. You stink.
What about the no touchdowns and 3 picks?
Anyway, the point being that I understand protecting quarterbacks in the league, but Granderson did nothing wrong. He didn't land on the quarterback. He did everything you're taught to do, right? He made contact and then fell off to the side. It's a beautiful play. I mean, it is beautiful. There's nothing. I don't know. Bronson asked why. I don't know why. I will be very interested, needless to say, to hear what the league rules on that, because if that is in fact a foul, then I really don't know how you coach. He didn't go low. Remember the other going low? You can't go low at a quarterback around his feet. That was because of the Brady. Wasn't it Haloti Ngata? Wasn't it Ngata who? Maybe I'm. Someone with the Bengals, wasn't it? When Brady had his knee torn up in 2008? I think it might have been Ngata. I can't remember who it was. Look that up. Who went low on Brady? It wasn't Ngata. Ngata was with the Ravens. Who was it? Anyway, it was someone with the Bengals. But anyway, then that's when the rule changed, so you couldn't go low on quarterbacks. You can't go low on quarterbacks. You can't go high on quarterbacks. You can't land on quarterbacks. I get it, but Granderson did everything you're supposed to do in that situation. Who was it?
Bernard Pollard. It was against the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
It was the Chiefs, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Chiefs
the
DB Bernard Pollard.
No, it was not a DB. It was a defensive lineman.
Well,
No. It was 2008 when Brady tore his ACL. It was definitely a defensive lineman that went low on him. Anyway, find it. We'll get to it. But I'm almost positive it was Cincinnati.
This is the game you're talking about. It ended his torn ACL, MCL that ended Brady's 2008 season against the Chiefs.
I'm almost positive.
He was a safety.
I'm almost positive there was a play with a Bengals defensive lineman that went low on him. Anyway, I'll find what I'm talking about. The point being, I don't know what else Granderson could have done differently. Let's wait and see what the league says, because that was textbook. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. Remember, kill mold, remove odor. Tons of rain last night. If you had water intrusion, you've probably had water intrusion now up to this point. So you probably have a good chance you have mold in your house. We live in the mold capital of the world. It's wet and humid, breeding ground for mold. Have mold or think you might? Parish Restoration can help. They'll come spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. They'll close up all the windows, the doors. They'll let it dwell, kill everything down to the spores. No more effective way and no more cost-effective way of killing mold and other harmful pathogens than Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see Garrett Nussmeier's testimonial as well. Did an NIL deal with Parish after they treated his home. ParishRestoration.com. Again, ParishRestoration.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Texas Longhorns.
Texas running back Quintravian Wisner re-injured his hamstring in Texas's loss at Florida. Scored on a 1-yard touchdown run with 3 minutes to go in the game as he left the field of play. He was kind of reaching for his hamstring. He is questionable right now for the game this Saturday against Oklahoma.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky coach Mark Stoops disputes the idea that he wants to be bought out of his contract. Said, quote, "I hate to give anything like that legs. There's zero chance I'm walking away. There's no quit in me." Longest tenured coach in the SEC in his 13th season there in Lexington, 69 and 76 overall.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Vols cornerback Jamad McCoy has said more to go before he returns from a knee injury, according to Josh Heupel. He's an all-SEC junior cornerback coming off of off-season knee surgery. Too early right now after the torn ACL he suffered in January. He was initially targeting Saturday's game against Arkansas, but it seems like it's going to be later than that.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Kirby Smart updated injuries on several players, including Jordan Hall, Monroe Freeling, and Ernest Green after the win over Kentucky. Hall dealing with patella tendonitis. How about that? It's an epidemic.
Yeah.
Patella tendonitis and the toe.
And don't forget the toe.
Can't forget a toe. Starting left tackle Monroe Freeling went down with a left leg injury. Offensive tackle Ernest Green missed the last 3 games with an injury, working his way back.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn and Baylor will play in Atlanta. They're moving that game for 2026 into the kickoff game. It'll be played September the 5th. It'll count as Auburn's home game as part of the series with the Bears.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
4-star 2027 quarterback Keegan Croucher has committed to Ole Miss. 4-star quarterback picked the Rebs over Penn State and Oregon. He's the number 12 quarterback in the country for 2027.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
2026 offensive tackle target Jared Doty has committed to the Crimson Tide. He was in town for the Vandy game this past weekend. He's the number 76 offensive tackle in the country for 2026. 6'6", 300-pounder. He's the 22nd commit for Bama's class.
The Missouri Tigers.
Mizzou landed a commitment from 4-star running back Terry Hodges. Picked Mizzou over Auburn, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Oklahoma State. The 14th commit for Mizzou's 2026 class.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Page was sticking together. Arkansas lost another prospect for the 2026 class, of course, after Sam Pittman's been fired. They're down to 15 now after running back Jordan Avenger decommitted. 6'3", 225. It's a big running back. 6'3", 225. Had been with the Hogs since August 1st. Has an offer from East Carolina as well to play linebacker. How about that? Don't see the running back-linebacker combo very often, do you? There you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, servicing the whole state, really all along the Gulf Coast. Check them out, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, Muse, Paulie, and I tell you 3 things. This is what I was thinking of. It wasn't against Cincinnati. It was Carson Palmer for Cincinnati, who was injured on a similar play, and that might have been Haloti Ngata, who went low against him from the Ravens. That may be what I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm crossing wires here. But I think that was the play with Carson Palmer getting injured by Ngata of the Ravens. If maybe all that stuff's just jumbling in my brain right now. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick. Did you find it? It's okay. Don't worry. We'll knock out a quick break. Come back. We'll do what we learned from the weekend next here on AFR.
AFR.
Ah, what a great time of year. It's October. It's the month of pumpkins. It's the month of Halloween. It's a great time to decorate your home, your office, that front porch, back patio, and the best place to go is Clegg's Nursery. Yes, they've got all your fall decor. They've got all the setups, the displays in all 4 locations: Siega near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. And I love to tell you always to bypass the big box stores. Bypass the big orange or blue box store and shop local. Go support a great local business that supported our community for 60 years. Get your pumpkins and your hay bales and your squash and your gourds and your fall bedding plants and your fall flowers. And when it's time to put those trees in the ground, get them from Clegg's, because they've got the best selection, the best people, and they are local. So get by any of those 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you into Clegg's Nursery.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Okay, we got to the bottom of it. So it was Carson Palmer who was injured in a playoff game in the 2005 season, second snap, by Kimo von Oelhoffen of the Steelers. I erroneously charged Haloti Ngata. I knew it was a defensive lineman from one of those, the black and blue division, who got a quarterback low and tore up his ACL, but it was Kimo von Oelhoffen. That was 2005 season, January 2006. And then Brady in the 2008 season got hurt in the season opener, and that's whenever they changed it. Well, this is all stemming from the Granderson sack and how a lot of the rules have changed. If you're just joining, going like, why are you talking about a sack that happened 20 years ago? Well, that's why. Okay, something that didn't happen 20 years ago, but just over the weekend, was a lot of football. And Muse, Paulie, and I on Thursday tell you what to watch, and then we come back and we recap. So let's do it.
We watched. Now, let's review.
Muse?
Yeah, man. So the first one we were looking out for was potential hangover for Georgia and Penn State. Georgia, they never trailed. Penn State, they lost and got dominated in the first half by a winless UCLA team. James Franklin, yikes, brother.
Texas, Florida. Florida knocks off the Longhorns. DJ Lagway threw for a season-high 289 yards. Dallas Wilson makes his college debut.
How about him?
He was good.
Six catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
The 55-yarder was pretty insane. Art struggled a little bit. Big questions on Texas offense.
And maybe LSU's win over Florida looks better now. Huh?
A little bit.
Yeah. I wanted to know if the Patriots were any good. They were 2-2. They had beaten Miami and Carolina, which is not impressive. They lost the Raiders and the Steelers, which made you go, huh? And so Sunday Night Football primetime at the Bills would tell you, and my goodness, New England went up there, got the win against Buffalo, a team that all of a sudden has a very suspect defense right now. But really gutty win there by Mike Vrabel's crew. And now they come to the Dome.
Of course, we were watching our unranked teams over the ranked teams. Cincinnati, they came through, got up 31-7, held on late for the 8-point win. Louisville, not impressive at all at home. Good win for Virginia, though, man. That was a really nice win for Tony Elliott's club.
Overtime again.
Yeah, again, 2 weeks in a row. How about that?
I was watching the debut of Browns quarterback Dylan Gabriel. He went 19 for 33, threw for 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did find 8 different receivers and had good connections with his tight ends. David Njoku and Harold Fannin combined for 10 catches and caught both of Gabriel's touchdowns.
Wanted to know if Texas A&M was on upset alert against Mississippi State. Yeah, they were. It was 7-3 at half. Bulldogs were hanging in there. Came up with a nice goal line stand. It ended 31-9. A&M's defense is pretty good, and Mississippi State got wore out. How about the Aggies? 5-0, ranked 5th in the country right now.
Wanted to watch Jaden Daniels return after missing the last 2 weeks with a knee sprain against the Chargers. He was awesome. 231 through the air, a touchdown. Knee looked good, too. 39 yards rushing. Big win for the Commies.
The Bucs won a thriller in Seattle. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold combined to throw for over 720 yards. With just a combined 10 incompletions. Big days for Ohio State receivers Rebecca Buka, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. The Bucs linebacker Levante David picked off Sam Darnold with less than a minute to go. That set up the walk-off field goal for the Bucs.
And I didn't have a last one. There it is. That's what we learned weekend. What?
Did you not? I thought you did.
I don't want to talk about it, Muse.
Okay. All right.
If Diego Pavia didn't turn the ball over in the red zone twice. I might have a different story here today.
2 times.
I might be sitting here in a Vanderbilt uniform today. Diego Pavia, go run your mouth and then fumble inside the 10, throw an interception at the 5. What are you doing? Turning the ball over inside the 10-yard. 2 red zone turnovers. Right there.
And hey, Jam Miller, go down.
Oh. You knew it was going to happen, too. Knew it was going to happen.
Absolutely.
17 seconds. They're not taking a knee. They're going to run a play. They're just going to bust a touchdown. I'm going to lose this cover, huh? Hour 2 next. Peter Burns.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouses, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouses.com. Rouses.com. I was over at Rouses today. The Rouses on Florida. Closest one to us here at Guarantee. Went and got one of those Mongolian bowls for lunch and a 4-pack of the 64-ounce bottles of Evermore. Find your favorite. It's a great place to have lunch or dinner. I love the Mongolian bowls there. You want grab and go sushi. Of course, they've got the hot bar, the hot and boiled kiosk. They got the salad bar. You want to walk in and grab lunch day from the office or pop on in and get dinner for everyone at the house you can. Or maybe want to throw something on the grill. Maybe you're preparing for your tailgate this weekend as the Tigers are back at home. Remember, they got everything you need for game day, from your chicken wing platters and your rib platters and your sandwich trays and the mini muffaletta trays, whatever it is, cheese, fruit. They got you covered, desserts, everything. All your beers and bourbons, they got everything for you at Rouses. Rouses.com, Rouses.com. Rouses, this feels like home.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Ed Bank.
Hey, Peter, how's it going? Doing great, man. Everything sounds good on your end? Perfect. Just hold tight.
ESPN Radio, with our coverage getting underway at the bottom of the hour. Game 2 on ESPN Radio will be the Brewers and Cubs from Milwaukee, with the Brewers looking for a 2-0 series lead. Tonight on Monday Night Football, it's Jacksonville hosting Kansas City, while the Chiefs are hoping for another run in the AFC. ESPN's Herm Edwards says, keep an eye out on the Broncos.
The Denver Broncos, going into that game against Philadelphia, they had the 9th-ranked offense as well. So they're pretty balanced. I mean, they play complementary football.
After Denver's win in Philadelphia, the Broncos are 3-2. According to Lions coach Dan Campbell, running back Kyren Arnold will be sidelined indefinitely with a shoulder injury. Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh says running back Omarion Hampton will go on injured reserve. That's due to an ankle injury. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Patriots running back Antonio Gibson suffered a torn ACL in last night's game against the Bills.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, my former head coach, Super Bowl winner Tom Coughlin, joins us in studio at 9 a.m. Eastern to go around the league. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll dive into the Saints PFF grades about an hour from right now. Much more from Brian Kelly as the Tigers turn the page finally to South Carolina and begin game week. But we do it every Monday. We bring aboard our buddy Peter Burns from the SEC Network. Let's do it now.
This week in the SEC with Peter Burns.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Number 11 of the defense. Throwing the LSU player's shoe 20 yards down the field.
With Peter Burns of the SEC Network. Presented by Blue Delta Jeans.
Yo, Peter, man, check out Channel 9. Check out this chick. What up, dude?
I'm doing this in my office right now, and right to the left of me is my little Tiger Joe. Thomas James Burns. He's playing Minecraft and he's shooting arrows at llamas. So that goes to show you, like I told you, you're shooting arrows at llamas, dude. You can't shoot arrows at the llamas. The llamas are nice. He's shooting arrows at chickens as well too, which is good parenting. Hold on, because it's Gamecock week.
That is so true. Can we talk? To Tiger Joe?
Hey, Tiger Joe, Thomas, do you want to come talk to the guys over in ESPN? No, denied. Denied.
You know, I'm not mad at him. I'm not that interesting, and it's always a little bit of a moonshot there. A little prayer to see if you can get him to come answer the bell. But look, if Tiger Joe wants to come over at any point, you bring him into the convo. All right?
Done.
All right.
Done.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Hey, who was the most what was the most impressive thing from Saturday? Any game, anything was the first thing, boom.
I mean, honestly, the way that, Billy Napier all week long talked about there was a twinkle in DJ Lagway's eye. And I'm like, okay, buddy, like I've heard this before. And sure enough, like right from the jump, like that first drive, getting the ball to Jaden Ball the way it did, the way that they just were carving it up. Dallas Wilson was impressive. And so, like, as much as we talked about all week, and all season, he's like, well, we're just a couple plays from that offense popping. It popped pretty damn good against Texas. But then, now it makes me wonder, was Texas ever really any good? I mean, an easy schedule last year, and frankly, we hadn't seen anything so far this season.
Hey, do you think with the benefit of hindsight, if they could, they would have brought back Quinn Ewers?
No, I think there was a plan right in the middle of like all of it. I mean, the reason why Arch and the whole Arch machine was going to be going to Austin was, hey, here's the deal. You're going to come here. Quinn's going to be there. He's going to play. You'll redshirt, then play a little bit the next year. And then by year 3, you've bulked up. You know how to just dominate SEC defenses. And yet here we are. And he looked scared. Now, in the same part, he played pretty damn well in the second half. But by that time, I mean, it was done, Matt.
That's kind of the point, though, PB. Like, I can't help but think of what happened with Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma. They had the succession plan for the 5-star. It went belly up, and Dylan Gabriel went undefeated at Oklahoma. I mean, it just feels like the way of the future now in college football is going to be the transfer of the veteran quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you think that's going to be the case, but then I also look at other guys. I mean, hopefully Garrett, if Nutt starts playing a little bit better and he's 100% healthy. I mean, go back and look at Ty Simpson, right? I mean, Ty, I think, is a perfect example. The first time we saw him, he was trash against South Florida. Remember, in the rain, it was nasty, and they had the other kid that was starting, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I talked to people at Vanderbilt this weekend, and I asked them, I was like, so what surprised you? And they're like, we ran stuff against Ty in that offensive line that we knew would work. Like, we hadn't shown it. It gave hell to everybody. And that kid had an answer for everything. And so I think Ty Simpson's a great example of a guy that's there. And now he's playing as good as anybody right now.
Yeah. Peter Burns with us at Peter Burns ESPN, brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans, BlueDeltaJeans.com. You, several weeks ago, were very high on Bo Pribula, and I think this is going to be a fascinating test case this week, PB, because now we get to see Missouri host Alabama, and while Missouri's got the gaudy record and all that stuff, this is sort of the, okay, let's see how good you really are. Give me an early thought, if you would, on that game, Missouri hosting Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I think the early thought is, and I go back to Bama-Vandy this weekend, Bama lost to Vanderbilt last year because Vanderbilt ended up having 40 minutes in time of possession. Well, guess what happened this year? They flipped it, right? And it was Alabama that kept the ball a little bit longer. I think that's the game plan that Drink has been working on for 2 weeks. Is like, hey, we're going to do this outside zone rushing scheme that worked with Tyler Beatty. It's going to work right now with Ahmad Hardy. And frankly, as much as I like Cedric Alexander and Diego Pavia, that feels like almost a diet version of what Missouri has in Pribula and Ahmad Hardy. So I do think it's, obviously I would love to see that game at night anytime you got a big game, but I don't think there's a drop off between Tiger Stadium at night and Tiger Stadium at 11 a.m. kickoff. There's no doubt about that. I don't know. Missouri's kind of that weird spot to where that place will be rocking come 11 a.m. And I think there's such a huge advantages now with the transfer portal and guys having some time to get rested and ready, that when you get a game plan and both teams aren't coming off a bye, only one team is coming off a bye, I think that's at least a 4 to 5 point favor of a team.
So you're saying Missouri coming off a bye, being at home, big advantage Saturday?
I mean, the way you said it almost sounded like a lawyer, like trying to goat me into something. But yeah, I do think it actually is a huge advantage.
Yeah, I'm just trying to clarify the point, because it's going to be. I'm a big believer, PB, in not just the audience is they hear me say this all the time. Not just who you play, but when and where you play them is such a big deal. And this is one of those spots, right? It's a spot on the schedule.
2 weeks in a row, right? I mean, you got an emotional game against Georgia. You win in Sanford. Everybody's talking about it. But then you also got Diego Pavia running his mouth and the Vanderbilt, which I don't have a problem with, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Vandy knows you're going to run your mouth. There people, if you do lose, there are people going to have at it. It doesn't matter. I'm fine for having emotion in college football. But everybody had circled that. Even you had Nick Saban talking about revenge against Vanderbilt, of all people, on game day. So that's wild. So that's 2 emotional games. And all of a sudden, it's like, I don't have a hatred towards Missouri, and it's 11 a.m. kickoff. Like, frankly, buddy, I think this sets up perfectly for Drink, who I talked to Blake Baker in this offseason. I was like, Blake, give me the scoop on Drink. And Blake loved Eli Drinkwitz. And he's like, dude, he thinks this guy is legit. And the numbers have played out ever since he gave up play calling a couple years ago.
Yeah. A couple more for you. I want to go one more back before we go forward. Texas A&M, very impressive in the second half against Mississippi State.
Yep.
Do we know yet how good Texas A&M is?
I think they're really good. And I think it's, the roster is solid. They got dudes at basically every single position. It's not just one. I mean, you saw it. Craver and Concepcion are legit. Ruben Owens, Le'Veon Moss, that's a good 1-2 punch. Reed, of course, acts as a running back when he wants to. I think they are trying to, I don't want to say force, but trying to almost like Jedi mind trick that Marcel Reed is this passer. And he can make plays, but if that thing does click, if Reed does all of a sudden feels more comfortable and that offense rolls, I'm not sure if they're not the best team, not just in SEC, but something that could compete for a national title.
They win at the line of scrimmage on both sides, which is it's a great place to start. All right, before you go, South Carolina comes into Baton Rouge this week. Tigers coming off the bye. They need to feel good in the belly, and they need a win. I'm going to ask you not from the LSU perspective, PB, but probably because you know more about South Carolina than most of our audience right now. What has gone so poorly for South Carolina early in this season?
I think for them is this the fact that they don't have the sheer depth that they had last year, right? I mean, like even guys that they hit on, like Kyle Kennard, who they thought was going to be pretty good, but then you paired him on the 1-2 punch with Dylan Stewart, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, how do you block those guys? I mean, I think even from from just a skill position deal and almost on of a depth deal. So, I mean, the thing is there's programs, and I think South Carolina is one of them, Matt, where you have to nail pretty much all your transfer portal guys in order to compete on that highest level of the college football portal, because of the recruiting is not nearly as good as it might be for, I don't know, for Bama or for an LSU or an Ohio State or something along those lines. So for me, I think it has everything to do with they just haven't yes, buddy. They didn't end up killing the transfer.
Let's go, Tiger Joe.
Hey, you got to say, who's your favorite team?
LSU.
LSU? Yeah. Okay. What team do you not like whatsoever? In college football? Alabama. You got to look at this camera right here and tell them, hurry, you got to go. Quick, people.
Alabama.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you, buddy. All right.
From birth, PB. We knew it from birth. When he was ordained Tiger Joe Burns, we knew. Jeaux.
Game knows game. He knows ball.
I love it so
But by
much.
the way, Bama's really damn good this year. So
Okay.
I think Ty Simpson's really good.
You think who's really good?
I think Ty Simpson's good. I think they got 3 legit number ones as far as wide receivers.
Do you know how to spawn the monster spawners?
Do we know how to spell what?
I gotta go spawn the monster spawners in my Minecraft.
All right. You go do that.
Is there a button to use? Like, I don't know.
Tell Tiger Joe to keep crushing it. We're proud of him. And we'll talk next week. Thank you, Peter.
See you, bud.
That's Peter Burns of the SEC Network, courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans. BlueDeltaJeans.com. BlueDeltaJeans.com. I know nobody will ever take anything that I say about Alabama with a grain of objectivity, and I've earned that. I have earned that. It's my fault. That is a team that is not good in their defensive front seven. Vanderbilt had their opportunities. That's a tough place to play, and I'm not saying they're a bad team. And maybe it's just the standard that I'm looking at that Alabama set for itself. They are just not the dominant force that they were under Saban and never will be again. And if there's something working for Bama, I would say it's the same thing working in favor of Texas A&M and Georgia and every other team in college football that has flaws, which is what we discussed last week, which is that there is no dominant team. And so you get into that tournament, and it's going to be more about draw and how the bracket plays out, who's hot at the right time, and all that stuff, which makes it a lot of fun. All right, it's After Further Review. Brought about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, 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 ARCCO, arco.com. This is industrial Generac power. So this is for your business. This is not for your home, to be very clear. These are generators for your business, not for your home. And it doesn't matter what line of work, what industry you're in. Power goes out. What does your business do? Being offline for so many essential industries is not an option. Failure in being offline is not an option. So what do? Call Arco Power Systems. They can install a permanent standby generator option. They have rental options, and they can service your generator from San Antonio to Mobile, north to Little Rock, and points in between. They got offices everywhere. It's Arco Power Systems, ARCCO. It's energy for your business. These industrial Generac generators. Arco.com, ARCCO, Arco.com for Arco Power Systems. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us. Monday show is presented by Relief Windows. Want to knock out a break and come back and dive into what happened from Friday to now with the Kyren Lacy story, because the stories continue to evolve. And there's another step today in that evolution that I want to get to as we continue. We're glad you're with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, you can always go to getgordon.com or follow Gordon on any of the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They're everywhere. @GetGordon, @GetGordon, @GetGordon. We talk so much about what they do with the G team and the great NIL deals. Gordon gives many ways they give back. But Gordon does a great job also putting out content. It's legal advice at times, and then also testimonials. There's a video up right now of a woman named Candace, who is a real, actual client of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, and she shares her workers' comp case that Gordon's attorneys and team helped with. If you want to get those testimonials, the real-life examples, you can do it at their social media @GetGordon or at the website getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Whatever you do, get Gordon and get it done.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
You know, I thought that this is a process that takes time. I think I said back in, when this occurred that let's wait until all the information comes out. Because for us to make these, universal statements early on, it doesn't serve anybody well. And so, I don't have any facts here. I'm following it just like you guys are. Let's just be patient and make sure that all the information gets out. He's loved by us, was loved before, and is loved after. So, there's not really a need to talk to our team. They follow it. They love Kyren. He was a great teammate, and he's going to be missed.
That was Brian Kelly on Monday, meeting with reporters and discussing, giving his response to what we now continue to see transpire and evolve with Kyren Lacy. We were on air Friday when the interview with Kyren Lacy's attorney Matt Ory on HTV 10 first dropped, and the first thing I think that everybody saw was the video of the wreck, where it is abundantly clear that Kyren Lacy was behind the wreck. And as attorney Matt Ory has detailed in this interview, was nearly a football field behind the wreck. And on Friday when we were here, we just had this sort of initial reaction because I hadn't had time yet to watch the entire 44-minute interview on HTV 10 that that attorney Matt Ory had given. You can see this now as this has transpired. And since this video and this interview dropped on Friday, there have been several more advancements in the story. But I did take the time and watch the full 44-minute sit down with attorney Matt Ory and all of the evidence. And there's a few things that I think are important to point out. Number one, this is not Kyren Lacy's attorney revealing his findings defending his client. The district attorney in Lafourche Parish opened an investigation. These are the findings from the Lafourche Parish district attorney. It's an important note because my nature, sort of with a with a journalistic background. To be very clear, what I do here on this show is not journalism. I'm a talk show host. I have conversations and opinions. I'm not reporting news here. Well, we do at times give news. But that's not my job here. My job is to lead conversation, to have opinions. But I try to do it with a degree of journalistic integrity. And in this conversation, I think it's important to note that the district attorney, after Louisiana State Police conducted their investigation, the district attorney did not accept that investigation. Instead, opened their own investigation. And these facts, the black box data, the forensic data, the body cam footage, the security cam footage, everything that's therein came from the Lafourche Parish District Attorney, not from Kyren Lacy's attorney, Matt Ory. Matt Ory, sat down with HTV10 to go through a lot of this data here. And I want to be clear that what I'm saying now is speculative. This is me speculating. What seems very clear is, from all of this evidence, is that the original narrative that was presented by state police, which included, by the way, written testimony suggesting Kyren Lacy in the green Dodge Charger split the two vehicles, causing the crash. That was one bystander's eyewitness testimony. Like, look at the video. He didn't split the two vehicles. He was nearly a football field behind the wreck. What seems very clear going through all of this are two big takeaways. And by the way, I don't think this is anywhere near finished. I think there are two big takeaways from what we know so far. Number one is that the original narrative of Kyren Lacy's involvement was wrong. This appears to be a situation, again, I'm being very clear, I'm speculating. Okay, this is my opinion, to be clear. This appears to be a situation where you had a distracted driver. Vehicle 2, as it's termed in here, there was a woman driving a vehicle, a Kia, and the forensic data shows, the black box data shows this. She never slowed until half a second before impact with the gold truck in front of her. She makes a 70-degree hard turn without ever braking to her left, and she collides with the other vehicle carrying Mr. Hall, who unfortunately and tragically died from injuries suffered in that wreck. Again, she never slowed. Like, this isn't opinion. This is data that we have from the district attorney's investigation. We also know that the state police investigation, in particular, one trooper, there are major inconsistencies with the statement given by the driver of the gold truck, and which is on body cam footage, and the written statement submitted by state police. And that is the hardest thing to reconcile right now. Because the trooper goes to speak to this man, and if you didn't watch the whole thing effectively, the original story was that the man driving this gold truck had to slam on his brakes to avoid the Dodge Charger, causing vehicle 2 that the woman was driving to correct, to veer left. They say that the gold truck slammed on their brakes, veered right. The Kia then had to veer left, which caused the wreck. And they're saying that it was the Dodge Charger which caused that reaction. We know from this data that the gold truck, the man gives this sworn testimony and the data backs it up. He was going 28 miles an hour in a 35, and he was not braking. Not only did he not slam on his brakes, he wasn't braking. There were no skid marks. He says this on the body cam footage, and it's backed up. But you have this state trooper coercing this man to say, I need you to say you slammed on your brakes. You have to make sure you include that you slammed on your brakes to avoid the charger, which is a factual inaccuracy. And the man is saying that that's not what happened. And then the data, the video, and every bit of evidence supports this man's statement. But the written statement, which is not signed by the witness, tells a different story. And those inconsistencies create a massive problem here. And so I know there are some people who have not been happy with me saying this throughout the weekend. But the problem, and that is my speculation as to what happened, but the problem is the report from state police suggested that the Dodge Charger split the two vehicles from one witness and then also caused the gold truck to swerve right, which didn't happen. We have video and black box data from the district attorney, which says that didn't happen. So the story that state police originally were telling is just not true. So this is far from over. And the really unfortunate part now, subsequent, is that even after we have this information, state police responded. And all this is up at LouisianaSports.net, by the way, if you want to follow along. State police released a statement where they insist, quote, his, Kyren Lacy's, swerving, passing cars, and reckless operation caused the series of crashes. They're still maintaining that, which is almost impossible to accept on its face right now because there's no evidence that corroborates that. At least no evidence we've seen yet that corroborates that finding. And today, Louisiana's Attorney General, Liz Murrill, announced that she is launching an investigation into state police. It's a one-word statement. She said, quote, I've been in touch with the Louisiana State Police about independently reviewing all the witness statements and evidence in this case. So the Louisiana Attorney General now is getting involved, and quite honestly, I'll editorialize again here, she should. I have so much respect for the women and men in law enforcement and how incredibly difficult their job is. I mean, we need more police, not fewer police. We've got to respect the job those people have to do. And I do tremendously. I can also acknowledge that they are fallible. They make mistakes. And there might be people with bad intentions. That doesn't mean you paint with a broad brush for all of law enforcement. And I'm trying to tread very carefully here and not jump to conclusions like I know a lot of people have. But it is absolutely essential that at the very bare minimum, the inconsistencies in that body cam footage where the state trooper is interviewing a witness, the driver of the gold truck, and this man says very clearly he didn't brake, he didn't skid mark, any of that stuff. And his statement on camera is not what is reflected in the written statement. Those two things tell very different stories. Why those inconsistencies exist have got to be investigated. And the Attorney General is going to do it, and she should. Now, I will tell you, today, I reached out to both Attorney Matt Orey and to Kenny Lacy, Kyren's dad. And Kyren's dad has been very vocal on social media since Friday. And Kenny Lacy was set to join us on the show today. And instead, both Kenny Lacy and Matt Orey are going to join us in studio on Tuesday at 5 o'clock Central. So we'll have a further conversation. I do not in any way want to compromise any investigation, and I'm going to be very respectful of that. I also want to know from Kenny Lacy. And I think it's relevant to tell the story about how he and their family feel and how they are reacting to the information that's been released and how this story has continued to evolve. Because one thing is very clear. This is a far, far away from over. And it's a tragedy in two senses. Like a tragedy in the literal sense of the word involves a death. You have a tragedy involving the car wreck and the death of Mr. Hall, a tragedy involving Kyren taking his own life for pressures that mounted as a result of this that he felt he couldn't deal with any longer, which is horrendously sad. And that, by the way, Matt Ory does at the end of the 44-minute video talk about the events in Houston and Kyren's suicide. If you have interest I would encourage anybody to go watch don't just take my opinion. Go watch the 44-minute video and make your own, draw your own conclusions from that. But for me, with everything we have right now, and I'm not trying to jump to a conclusion, I certainly think the narrative painted by state police has certainly been proven wrong. Kyren didn't split the two vehicles. My opinion is I think you have a situation where you had a distracted driver who tried to avoid a crash and tragically swerved into another vehicle and a man died. That's what I think happened based on the information we have. And Kyren was wrongly accused, in my opinion, and I think would have been exonerated. I don't know how any grand jury, given the data we have, the information we have now, how any grand jury could have indicted him. Remember, he was never convicted. He was never charged. Like, there was no charges brought by a grand jury. He was awaiting his case being heard by a grand jury. But it certainly feels like there is so much more that still has to be uncovered and disclosed. And with the Attorney General now being involved, that is absolutely going to happen at this point. And I hope that these proceedings bring some level of peace and comfort to Kyren Lacy's family and the family of Mr. Hall as we learn what exactly transpired and how it all came to pass. And I'll do my very best to share that information as as unbiased and respectful a manner as I can, while also sharing my opinion, because that's what I get paid to do. I don't know that I have much more to say, but we will have both Kenny Lacy, Kyren's father, and attorney Matt Ory in studio with us on Tuesday at 5 o'clock Central. And you'll have an opportunity to hear from those two men. Okay, I'm going to knock out a break, and we'll continue here on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources and glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. It's Glow Resources and glowresources.com. No matter what industry you're in, if you're a business owner or you're an operations manager, a hiring manager, an HR manager, if you're the person in charge of finding the right people to make your business operate as efficiently as possible, you need Glow Resources. The bottom line is, no matter what you do for a living, and you could be awesome at it, I'm certain what you don't do is interview people all day. That's what Glow Resources does. They cast a net far and wide, and they conduct some 15,000 interviews over the course of a year. So they know the questions to ask to find the right people for the job that you're trying to fill. And these aren't temp staffing solutions. These are permanent solutions. And there's nobody better than Glow Resources. So check them out online at glowresources.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, this is a special group. Again, their resiliency to hang in there through some challenging times the first month. By no means is it the perfect script to start a journey together as a group, but I thought our guys just battled the entire game, and it was really fun to see those guys.
Kellen Moore, after he got his first career win in the Dome Sunday against the Giants, 26-14 was the final score for the Saints. Says they'll trudge on here and press on and try to make it 2 in a row. One of the biggest storylines clearly in the game were the returns of Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill. My goodness, what a very pleasant surprise. Remember, those two guys had their 21-day window open last week, and on the broadcast, if you were watching the game, they noted a conversation with Foster where he said, look, if I'm paraphrasing, but if I waited until it was 100%, it wouldn't be until next year. So not 100%, but getting out there and playing. And when you look at the snap counts, man, really encouraging to see. Juwan Johnson played 56 snaps. Foster Moreau played 23. Taysom Hill just 9. But a very specialized role. And you would expect as they go on and continue to get stronger and healthier and in game shape, those snap counts will only continue to increase. But remember, Jack Stoll was still active as well, and he played 25 snaps. So you had 4 tight ends. I guess we're counting Taysom as an air quotes tight end, although he is listed on the depth chart as the backup quarterback, which was odd to see. But Juwan Johnson, 56 snaps. Foster Moreau, 23 snaps. Jack Stoll, 25 snaps. And then Taysom Hill, 9 snaps. Here was Kellen Moore after the game on getting both Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau in the game.
Yeah, it was fun. It was awesome to see Taysom, to see Foster out there competing, playing. They've been through a lot. Taysom had some hard downs in the run game, and I thought, the play action pass, the opportunity to throw it in that short yard situation was obviously awesome, and I thought he made an excellent decision. Really good throw because the corner's playing over the top, and so it was a big time play. We needed that in that situation. It
was not a really good throw. It was very much a Taysom Hill throw. It was dramatically underthrown, and Juwan Johnson made a great adjustment on the ball, coming back to it and going down to make the catch. In a key spot, though. But it does show the dimension that having Taysom Hill available offers you. Yes, they did direct snaps on short yardage situations. They tried to run him on a sweep, which got thrown for a loss. And then he did throw the ball as well, which they were able to illustrate the arsenal that Taysom offers. And for an offense that has been struggling at times to move the football, yes, having weapons like Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill, who are starting caliber NFL players, healthy and available, make you a more dynamic offense. Now, as I mentioned, Taysom Hill only played 9 snaps, and Kellen Moore was asked if he was on a snap count.
Yeah, his role obviously will evolve. He's just coming back, and so I thought, he did punt protection, and then he did some, obviously snaps in some offensive situations, and as he goes, he'll just keep growing that as we go.
We are going to get in hour 3 into the full PFF grades for the Saints against the Giants, but just as a little teaser, Juwan Johnson graded out at a 43, Jack Stoll graded out at a 50. Foster Moreau graded out a 58.8. So Moreau, even in a limited role coming off a knee injury, was your best, your highest graded tight end, which, it's a reason he's a starter. And you want him getting healthier and getting more and more reps. You'll expect that will fully increase as they continue to move along. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. They've been in business since 1968. My goodness, coming up on 60 years. Shaw Bills. They'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they'll keep you coming back year after year after year because they treat you like family. That's part of the Charlie's Dozen. A dozen benefits to doing business with Shaw Bills, which includes the price match guarantee. Buy tires at Shaw Bills. You find them advertised somewhere else cheaper, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. That's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top. You see all the specials that they have over at Shaw Bills. It's easy. Go to ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab. All promotions, and you'll see every offer they currently have. How they'll combine the manufacturer's offer with their in-house offer to get you the best price possible on the best tires on the road. So why would you go anywhere else? ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us. Text the show, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways to get involved in the show if you want to do that. We mentioned Kellen Moore got his first win. Spencer Rattler, after the game, talked about getting his first win as well Sunday in the Dome.
Good, man. Feels good to get that first win. It was a team win. Defense played great. O-line played elite today. I believe we had 0 sacks versus that front. So, that's a great building point. And, catch that momentum, go on a run. Just keep working. Keep progressing and keep doing what we're doing.
That is massive. No sacks, just one quarterback hit. Rattler was hurried 10 times. He was pressured 11 times. The Saints did commit 4 offensive penalties, but to not give up the sack yardage, which is really what bit the Chargers the week prior in the Meadowlands, was when Herbert got sacked 6 times, for the Saints to pitch a shutout there and not give up a sack. And a big part of that was Rattler's decision-making, getting rid of the football, and his ability to run and move the pocket. Fantastic. And that's obviously what playing clean football, not turning it over, and keeping Spencer Rattler upright. It's a big reason why the Saints were able to put up 26 points and ultimately get the win. Now they go for 2 in a row this week with New England coming in. All right, it's After Further Review. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. They do shutters as well. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Quick break. Come back. We used to do Tigers and the Pros. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Big shout out to Derek Duplessis and our friends over at Duplessis Builders. You've been telling you for years now that at Duplessis Builders, they'll build you a beautiful custom pool. They have so many great options. If you go to the website, duplessisbuilders.net, 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 yes, they can build you that beautiful custom pool. But if you go to the tab at the top that says Pick Your Pool, you will see there are many different models and options they have where you can do the whole thing online. You can pick out your pool for darn near any budget at duplessisbuilders.net. Check that out at the website, duplessisbuilders.net. Great time right now. It's a great time right now to get on the books so that way they can get on the schedule. Again, put shovels in dirt at the right time so you can be done and swimming next pool season. Get in touch with them today at duplessisbuilders.net. And remember, of course, the Dream Pool sweepstakes they're doing to raise money for Dreams Come True of Louisiana. You go to 1045ESPN.com. $25 donation to Dreams Come True of Louisiana enters you for a free pool from Duplessis Builders.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead...
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Brian Kelly getting you set for South Carolina. We'll get to that after SportsCenter in about a dozen minutes from right now. Right now, Muso as Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, let's start in London with Vikings and Browns. Justin Jefferson stuffs the stat sheet again. 123 receiving yards off of 7 receptions, a long of 38. Did not find the end zone. Justin Jefferson through 5 games, just the 1 receiving touchdown so far this year. Obviously, a couple different quarterbacks he's been playing for, but see if that doesn't improve, or increase, I should say, as the Vikings continue to go throughout their season. And then Grant Delpit was on the other side for the Cleveland Browns. 4 stops, a pass defense. Really had himself a nice day as well. Jamar Chase putting up Travis Hunter numbers in Cincinnati. 6 receptions, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns, along with 64. He also had 3 tackles. He made the stop after all 3 of Jake Browning's interceptions. Lions won that one big. Jaden Daniels made his return from a knee sprain, missed the previous 2 games. Took his team out west to L.A. to face the Chargers. 231 passing yards, a touchdown to Deebo Samuel, and also ran the ball for 39 yards on 8 carries with a long of 12. And the Commanders got a massive win in Daniels' return as well. How about Will Campbell getting the shout out last night on Sunday Night Football, man, for what they say 1 pressure so far this season that he's allowed in the first half of football games. Awesome. Really had a good night against Joey Bosa as well there for Will Campbell. So wanted to shout him out. And Trey White 4 stops in that game as well. Lastly, Kevin Gausman got a postseason victory on Saturday, 5 2/3, an earned run, and 3 strikeouts there for Gausman. Getting to start game 1 of a playoff series. That's no short of a deal there for Gausman. So congrats to him. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, we are inching closer to the holidays, and so many people like to pop the question around the holidays. If that's you, remember our friends at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. With 10 locations, they have the buying power to get great selection and great prices. You know, when you think about jewelry stores, there's the box stores, which tend to be impersonal and cookie cutter. There's boutique jewelers, but they tend to not maybe have the best selection, and the prices can be really high. Lee Michaels is the perfect in between. They're big enough to give you a great selection. If they don't have what they want, they'll find it. They can't find it, they'll make it. And, of course, because they have the buying power of buying for 10 stores, they can pass along great pricing to you as well. No matter your budget, if you need that beautiful diamond that says I love you forever, Lee Michaels can help. lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you get involved in the show here as Hour 3 is about to kick off from the Raising Cane studio in downtown Baton Rouge. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. I know he's got baseball plays and a Monday Night Football play. We'll get to our college football takeaways in about 35 minutes from right now as well. Saints Pro Football Focus grades and the win over the New York Giants. We'll get to that. Muse just mentioned Will Campbell. A season-long grade already of 66.8. It's crushing it so far. Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
Our Lady of the Lake and LSU together, we roar. Our Lady of the Lake Championship Health partner of LSU Athletics. Love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake because they've been not only a great partner of ours, a great partner of LSU's, but a great partner in the community. And not just in Baton Rouge, but as part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, FMOL serves all of the state, and it's actually into Mississippi as well as a multi-state health system. And the more I learn about FMOL and Our Lady of the Lake, and the deeper our connections and our ties go, the more I learn about the many different ways that they serve the communities, give back. They've committed more than $250 million in facility upgrades this year, and in many of the different communities. And my goodness, so excited about the naming rights for the new arena. Hope to see that get pushed through and how that's just going to transform Baton Rouge and our community. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bankin. Another day of postseason baseball is about to get underway in Philadelphia. The first game of the evening will be the Dodgers and the Phillies, with the Phillies trying to even the series at a game apiece. Outfielder Harrison Bader is not in the Philadelphia lineup. He is dealing with a groin injury. The second game of the night on ESPN Radio will be the Brewers and Cubs from Milwaukee as the Brewers go for a 2-0 series lead. Jackson Chourio will be in left field tonight for Milwaukee after leaving game one with a hamstring injury. Tomorrow, both American League Division Series resume. The Yankees will try to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Blue Jays, and manager Aaron Boone remains confident.
Baseball's a funny game. I know we'll show up and ready to go expecting to win Tuesday night. So, obviously it feels like the world's caving in around you, and, you lose 2 games like that.
Also, the Tigers and Mariners tomorrow, even at a game apiece. Monday Night Football tonight, it's Jacksonville hosting Kansas City on ABC and ESPN. The Chiefs a 3.5-point road favorite on ESPN Bet. Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh says running back Omarion Hampton will go on injury reserve due to an ankle injury. And according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Patriots running back Antonio Gibson suffered a torn ACL last night.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, my former head coach, Super Bowl winner Tom Coughlin, joins us in studio at 9 a.m. Eastern to go around the league. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Saints got a win on Sunday. Tigers were idle. Opportunity to get healthy. Finally, we can sort of turn the page from the Ole Miss loss instead of just continuing to dwell on that and start to look ahead to LSU playing South Carolina this weekend with the Gamecocks coming in. Line open with LSU 10-point favorite. It's at about 8.5 right now. Also, while we're speaking of betting lines, 2 Major League Baseball games. There are Otter Locks. It's live over at LouisianaSports.net. Jimmy did give out plays for both Major League Baseball games tonight let's see, I'm trying to find it. Excuse me. So he did give out plays for both Major League Baseball games and for Monday Night Football. So they're live at LouisianaSports.net if you want them right now, because the first baseball game is about to get underway. So if you want to check that out, you can at LouisianaSports.net. Jimmy will be here in about 45 minutes from right now. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Monday, kind of turning the page from Ole Miss to South Carolina. But learning from what went wrong against Ole Miss is going to be imperative for LSU continue to advance the season and getting to the goals they want. And I know when you have a week of negativity after a loss, going into an open date with a loss stinks because you just dwell on it. And so it's exacerbated all the problems and the conversations. What we might lose sight of is the fact that you're 5 games in. You got 7 more to go. You got 6 more league games. And yes, there are landmines all over. But the other thing that's very apparent when you have the opportunity to sit back, pull back, 10,000-foot view, look at college football, realize there aren't any dominant teams. And you're allowed to improve. I'll continue to give you the example of LSU in 2022, Brian Kelly's first year. Hideous loss in the opener against Florida State. Blasted at home by Tennessee. You end up beating undefeated Ole Miss. You beat Alabama. You go to the SEC championship game. You won 10 games. Improved tremendously. So you're allowed to get better, and this team needs to improve and get better, no doubt. But there's also a path where you can look and say, LSU's a big favorite at home against South Carolina. They'll be favored on the road against Vanderbilt. They'll be a favorite at home against Texas A&M if you win your next 3. But if you win your next 3, you go into an open date with 4 games to go. You'll be a big favorite at home against Western Kentucky and Arkansas. Can you split games at Bama, at Oklahoma? You do that, you're 10-2, you're in the playoff. It's a path. It's a path forward. And I think that's the one that LSU's got to look at taking heretofore. But the offense has got to improve. The defense is playing at a championship level. I don't think anybody would dispute that. The offense has got to get better. Brian Kelly knows that. And he said, on Monday that they did a good bit of time self-scouting the offense during the open date.
We've been so much better in the second half than the first half. From an offensive perspective, play a little bit more to our strengths. And really, like I had mentioned, much more of an efficient 4 quarters of offense is what's needed. There's no major changes. There's no, hey, we're going to go to a split back veer or do something crazy here. We have to be more efficient in our passing game. We've got to hit shots down the field. And then we have to be much more efficient with the run game. So we've been working hard on it. Our guys have. I'm proud of the way they really locked in last week in a bye week. And my expectations is this offense is going to continue to get better week after week.
The team scored first against Ole Miss and led 7-0 and then didn't score again until the second half. They put together a touchdown and 2 field goals in the second half, and obviously settling for field goals instead of touchdowns is kind of what cost you that ball game, the inability to convert when you had opportunities. So, but you look at it in turn and you say, your defense was on the field the whole game and still only gave up 24 points. And you only lost by 5. As poorly as you played, you were right there in that football game with a chance potentially to win it. But you got to get better. I don't know. I guess you could make the case of what he's saying about the offense playing better in the second half than the first. We kind of saw that play out in the Clemson game as well, as it was really a sluggish first half where Clemson went into the half leading 10-3. LSU had a field goal in the first half, and they ended up scoring touchdowns each in the third and the fourth quarter. And by the way, you had the Berry and Brown play as well, which would have been a third touchdown in the second half. So there's some validity there, as he says, playing a full 4 quarters. But my contention has been, certainly in the Ole Miss loss, that you've got to show more of a commitment to running the football. And Brian Kelly's continued to say they need to be better in the passing game, and I'm not disputing that as well. Through 5 games, Garrett Nussmeier is averaging 100 yards per game less than he did through 5 games a year ago. Through 5 games last year, he was averaging 331 yards. Right now, he's averaging 231 yards. So he is 100 yards less through 5 games than he was averaging through 5 games a year ago. So, yes, you absolutely have to get better and more efficient throwing the football because that is your strength. A 5th-year senior quarterback, all these great weapons on the outside. But we've also talked about this a ton. It's not my opinion. Brian Kelly said it against Ole Miss. Ole Miss, 86% of their defensive snaps dropped 8. 86% of the defensive snaps, Ole Miss dropped 8 in coverage. They rushed 3. And Ole Miss was getting pressure with 3, and you couldn't run the football. Or you didn't run the football. That's largely been my contention. There was only 2 times that entire game where you handed the ball off on consecutive plays. Only 2 times in the entire game did you hand the ball off in consecutive plays. And one of them was the goal line situation where he went back-to-back runs to Harlan Berry where he scored the touchdown. So I would argue that it is a lack of commitment to the running game, like was a problem a year ago where they were 60-40 pass run. And I understand playing to your strength, but if you're going to see a 3-man front, you've got to be willing to run the football against a three-man box. And that's something Brian Kelly was asked. How much of the inability to run right now is just lack of commitment to running the football?
Yeah, it's circumstantial, too, a lot in terms of the runs, right? You want to be able to set up what you're doing as a play caller. And look, I think Joe does a really good job. He obviously is under the microscope. I get it. He gets it. We're looking for balance in our offense. And sometimes the circumstances are such that, a run call doesn't make sense here. But we clearly understand the need for balance. We clearly understand the need to complement our defense. And you can't do it just by throwing it.
Actions speak louder than words. You can't do it by just throwing it. But then I look at that game against Ole Miss where you threw the ball 34 times and you ran it 22 times. Despite the fact that 86% of the snaps, you had an honest look or you had numbers, which is something else like Brian Kelly said on Monday. He's like, to run the ball, they've got to have a fair box. Well, if you got 5 offensive linemen, they got 3 defensive linemen, you should be running the football there. So I would love to hear him elaborate more on that point. Fortunately, the mic didn't get back to me. I would have asked that follow-up. But it's one of those where I can understand not always wanting to just blame the play caller. I'd say it all the time. It's low-hanging fruit. It's the easiest thing to do. But when you look sometimes, like it comes down to execution. Not always. I think there were a lot of great play calls that executed properly, LSU scores. And we've gone over plenty of those. But you also were playing largely in a one-score game for the bulk of this game, and you didn't need to abandon the run to just focus on throwing the football. You got to make a commitment to doing it. And one of the other things this is a question that I asked Brian Kelly was about Alex Atkins, because remember, when LSU hired Brad Davis, Alex Atkins was also at the top of that list. He was the offensive line coach at Florida State at the time. And Atkins decided to stay at Florida State. They made him offensive coordinator under Mike Norvell, and LSU hired Brad Davis. Well, Florida State, he was the offensive coordinator at Florida State when they had the undefeated season, and then a year later they went 2-10. And Florida State had to have a fall guy, and Alex Atkins became that. He became the scapegoat. They fired him. And so LSU was able to hire Alex Atkins as their tight ends coach. So you have this very accomplished offensive line coach who's got Power 4 offensive coordinator experience as well. And if you're watching the games, when they show Joe Sloan in the press box, the man sitting immediately to Joe's side is Alex Atkins. So, I asked Brian Kelly on Monday about Atkins, his role on game days, involvement in play calling, things like that, and how much of a resource he may be.
Yeah, they're collaborating. In particular, Alex has been assigned the run game, and I think that collaboration occurs. I can hear it on the headsets. They work well together, and that's why, I've said this before, we want to run the ball more efficiently, but I see the signs of that coming together. So we expect that to get better and better as the season goes on. But, yeah, those two are collaborating on game day.
That, I think, is something worth watching. Remember last year when LSU lost back-to-back games, Texas A&M and Alabama, they went to Florida, and then Brian Kelly had the play sheet. And that was sort of a now sort of infamous moment with Brian Kelly with the play sheet. And he admitted, of course I have the play sheet. Of course I'll help where he can provide insight. I don't blame him at all. He's the head coach, and he's an accomplished offensive coach for 3 decades. And if you're having issues, yes, I have no problem at all with the head coach having a play sheet. In the same way that if Mike Norvell, who's not calling plays at Florida State, wants a play sheet while Gus Malzahn's calling the offense, or Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. are collaborating there, I have no problem whatsoever with the head coach influencing things that way if they feel like they need to or can be a resource or an asset in that situation. But they continue to say we need to run the ball better. We need to be more efficient. Okay, well, it starts with committing to running the football. So you play South Carolina this week. Let's see what the run-pass breakdown looks like, because what you did at Ole Miss was you threw it 34 times and you ran it 22. And by the head coach's admission, you were seeing 3-man fronts 86% of the time. That would stand to reason you should be running the football against those fronts, and you didn't. Let's see if those numbers change this weekend when South Carolina comes in. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Supper Club. Hey, they're closed today. Remember, Supper Club's closed Sunday, Monday, open Tuesday to Saturday. Got a home game this weekend with the Tigers coming back. Man, what a great time to get to Supper Club. Maybe you have some family or friends, clients coming in from out of town, and you want a place to take them on the Friday before the game. Take them to Supper Club right there on Perkins Road. Get your reservations at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. If you want those Sagrera steaks, maybe you want the Japanese, the Omi beef that I tell you about all the time. That's the Emperor of Japan's. It's his favorite cut. It's it's a 500-year-old farm in Japan where they used to feed this steak to this Wagyu to the samurai because they thought it had special powers. It's amazing. And there's only a couple of restaurants in the United States of America that serve that Omi beef. And Supper Club in Baton Rouge is one of them. They had to join a Japanese beef cooperative just to be able to apply to be able to sell this Omi beef. Anyway, you want a once-in-a-lifetime experience? You can get it there at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com. Get your reservations. Get them for this weekend, any of the future home game weekends, or if you're celebrating a birthday and anniversary, there's no better place to go than Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com for reservations today. All right, it's after further review, and we're glad you're hanging out with us here. Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a break. When we come back, Saints Pro Football Focus grades for the win over the Giants. We'll delve into that. Still got our college football takeaways with me, Paulie, and Muse. Otter Locks coming up here in about half an hour. Ton to do, and glad you're with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Awesome win. Found a way to get it done. Really, really good job by our guys. Just resiliency. Obviously, it hasn't been an easy month for our guys. Missing on 4 opportunities, and for them to hang in there and compete this whole entire game, I thought it was an awesome effort. The turnovers obviously was a huge part of this game. 5-0, and a lot of positives coming out of this thing.
Kellen Moore, after getting his first career win on Sunday, as we do every week, we take a look at what the folks over at Pro Football Focus had to say. As the caveat I always give you is that Pro Football Focus is it's not the metric, it is a metric. It's just something to consider amid the whole body of work and different things to assess performance. So I like to jump into this because a lot of times they will be looking at things that you and I aren't looking at. We are watching the ball, not necessarily what the left tackle is doing on a screen pass to the right. So for reasons like that, I like to look at PFF and to see how things went, and then we sort of boil it all down. And by the way, if you Ross Jackson every week over at LouisianaSports.net gives a breakdown of the PFF grades. And that's, again, everything at LouisianaSports.net, always completely 100% free, no paywalls, no freemium, no article limits. It's just free. Go read it at LouisianaSports.net. Top 5 on offense: Rashid Shaheed, Spencer Rattler, Kendre Miller, Chris Olave, and then Eric McCoy. By the way, Talese Fuaga was next at 6. So I'd love to see that 5 of the top 6 highest-rated players are starters, and the other is Kendre Miller, who looks like a completely new player in this offense. New life. He runs with intensity and effectiveness. I would love to see, and I need to dive deeper into this for Kendre Miller on the season, but I don't know how many plays that he's had negative rushing plays. I'll look into that ahead, but it feels like he's always moving forward, falling forward, and not getting thrown for a loss, which is fantastic to see. When you look overall, though, offense or defense, top 5, the highest graded player for the Saints was Brian Brzee, then Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alontae Taylor. So the top 3 highest graded players either side of the ball were defenders. And the most impressive part of the top 5 on either side, Brzee, Kool-Aid, Alontae Taylor, Rashid Shaheed, Spencer Rattler, all are 27 years old or younger. The thing we keep hammering home about this team is you want to see the young players play well and establish a foundation. Brzee's a guy you used a first-round pick on. Kool-Aid's a guy you used a second-round pick on. Alontae Taylor's a guy you used a second-round pick on. Rashid Shaheed got the contract after being a UDFA. Like, these are guys that you want to trust can be cornerstone players to build upon. Brzee had the great strip of Cam Scattaboo, which Jordan Howden scooped and scored. Rattler and Shaheed there in the top 5 connected for the 87-yard touchdown. Shaheed went over 100 yards receiving. Alontae Taylor had a big day. He was 3rd on the team with 8 tackles. Did not have a missed tackle either. Very significant there. And Kool-Aid, of course, had 2 interceptions. I want to pump the brakes on Kool-Aid's day because the 2 interceptions do bump him up, but neither were like tight coverage interceptions. The first one was basically a punt. But he had a PI. He kind of got big boyed on the touchdown with a big tight end, like pushed him to the ground. I still think Kool-Aid's got a long way to go, but let's see progress. By the way, Kellen Moore after the game did talk about the day that Kool-Aid had with the 2 interceptions. Here was Kellen Moore on Kool-Aid.
Just so happy for him. He is a phenomenal player. We think the world of him. He's played some hard downs the first few weeks of the season, and for him to come up with 2 big-time interceptions and made a bunch of plays throughout this entire game, I was so fired up for Kool-Aid. He deserved everything that's coming his way this week, and so we're really excited for him.
The thing we'll consistently say about Kool-Aid is, remember, if you fancy him as a number 1 corner, then every week he's going to face the other team's number 1. And that's not gone well a lot this year. Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's had to face dudes, and that's not going to stop ever. I mean, that's That's your lot in life as a number one corner. You're going to be on an island against the other team's best, and you're going to give up plays at times, but there's also got to be times that you can make plays and your team can count on you when you need to get a stop. At the bottom offensively, just overall the bottom five, Torselli Simpkins was the lowest graded player. Juwan Johnson, Alvin Kamara, Devon Gottschall, and Jack Stoll. Those are your bottom five, either side of the ball. Whenever I look at the PFF grid, though, I always look for outliers. So I've explained this before, but it's like a color-coded chart. And like dark blue is like the 90s to 100. Right? Dark blue is awesome. And then it gets like to lighter blue and then to dark green and then to lighter green and then like to orange and then like to yellow and then so on down to red. Right? Red is bad. And so I always look at the color chart and I look for, okay, where's the blues or the dark greens and then where's like the reds and the orange, like the bright oranges. Those are the ones that would be like the really good or the really bad. And there's one, I'm looking at the offensive grades, and there's one red dot. So this whole chart of all the players, pull this up, Holly. Of all the players, there's the chart. If you're watching, there's the chart, and there's one red dot there at the very bottom. It's the pass blocking grade for Torselli Simpkins. It's a 0. A 0. I understand that he is an undrafted rookie free agent. And this is the NFL, and it's very hard. A 0? I look at this every week for LSU and for the Saints, so college and pro. I don't think I've ever seen a 0. He gave up 5 pressures. He committed a penalty. A 0. I don't even know what else to say. Like, how do you grade at a 0? He played 66 snaps. I'm so perplexed. He played 66 snaps. Does that just mean he didn't win a single rep out of his 66 snaps? 35 of the 66 were pass blocking reps. He gave up 6 pressures, 5 hurries, 1 quarterback hit. He did commit a penalty. He had the false start penalty. When you had 1st and goal at the 7 and he committed the false start penalty, you ended up settling for a field goal there because you got behind the sticks. But a 0. A flipping 0. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say other than let's hope that he was in for Cesar Ruiz at right guard. And Cesar Ruiz is terrible. Like every week, Cesar Ruiz is the bottom of this chart. Like if you look at starting offensive linemen in the NFL, like Cesar Ruiz, I could actually do this if you give me 2 seconds. Like if I go look at blocking grades, you can look by position. I'll look at guards. Here's the block, like season-long blocking grades by guards in the NFL. Cesar Ruiz, his blocking grade, I'm looking for him, hang on, is, where are you, Cesar? I'm looking.
Might be easier to just search his name.
Maybe. Is he
might pop up
Is he not
immediately.
even on this list? Trevor Penning's down there at oh, that's why. Hang on. How about Ed Ingram?
Shout out.
The second highest grade among guards in the entire NFL.
Hell yeah, man.
How about
Shout out,
that?
Big Ed.
Is Cesar Ruiz not on this? Bro, like where is he? Bro, he's not even on this list. How? Oh, wait. I got to go beyond 50. There it is.
It might just be
That's
easier
why.
to search his name.
That's why. No, but it wouldn't show up on this thing.
Like where he's ranked in it.
Yeah. I'm still going. There he is. 91st. Torselli Simpkins is 100th. How about that? Cesar Ruiz is 91st. This is among guards, not all offensive linemen, just guards. Just guards. Caesar's 91st in the NFL in Pro Football Focus when you're just rating the guards. And you replace him with a guy who is 100th. you have to have a better option, right? I'm not trying to kill him. He's a young guy, UDFA, trying his best. But Torselli Simpkins is literally the lowest graded offensive guard in the entire NFL. And Ruiz is just 9 spots ahead of him. What? A 0. How you do that? Literally, you don't win a rep? That's the only way. How do you do that?
That has to be the only way. I mean, you said 6 pressure. How many pressures did the Saints give up all day? Did he have, was it 6? Did he have all 6? Like, I'm genuinely curious.
I think it was 10. Now I got to get back to that page.
So he had 60% of the pressures given up.
Crazy.
Also, it's more of an indictment on Cesar Ruiz. You were a first-round pick, bro. That guy's,
he's awful.
9 spots behind you, and he's a UDFA.
Ruiz is objectively, he might be a great guy. I've never met Cesar. I don't know. But he is objectively an awful start. Like, he's in the NFL, so good for you. But as a starter, he is objectively an awful starting guard in the NFL. He legitimately is the worst starting guard in the NFL. Simpkins gave up 6 of the 11 pressures, 5 of the 10 hurries, and gave up the only quarterback hit.
There you go. Man gave up 50% of the pressures and 50% of the hits.
No, 100% of the hits. There was 1 hit he gave up.
I'm sorry. Of the hurries. Hurries. My apologies. Hurries.
Yeah. I mean, 0. I've never seen it. How about Alvin Kamara and Juwan Johnson, though, being at the bottom of this list as well? Juwan Johnson dropped a pass. Kamara dropped a pass going across the middle. Like right when they were going in to score, put him behind the sticks. In any event, I think Kamara's been really good this year, but a tough day for those two guys, but bolstered by the fact that you got Foster and Taysom back. So a little look at PFF for the Saints in their win against the Giants. Now the Patriots coming on in. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Woke up, actually, I had to get up in the middle of the night every night to give Drew, he gets medicine through his feeding tube. It was about 2 in the morning, and it was storming rain. Woke up this morning getting ready, 5:30 in the morning, went to go do my cold plunge, storming rain. And I'm like, well, phones are going to be busy at Parish today. Because the reality is, I tell you all the time, there's 2 ways to find out if you have roof damage. 1, you let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. 2, you wait for it to rain, and then you find out you got water in your house. And one of those options is better than the other. So I would always encourage you to let us come give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. As we're fond of saying, from claim to cleanup, we can help. By the way, if you're listening in Tangipahoa, there were documented tornado strikes in Tangipahoa Parish in the early morning hours here on Monday. If you were or know someone who was affected, our crews are ready to help. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. You can fill out the form on the homepage, or you can call us, 364-1007, 364-1007. But most importantly, what I tell you is, even if you don't call us, when a storm comes or it's time to do work on your roof, just trust a reputable, licensed roofing contractor in Louisiana. You can go to the Louisiana Licensing Board for Contractors website, and you can type in, there's a search bar. You can actually shared it on the Parish socials earlier today. There's a bar where you could type in the name of the company, and it will pop up if they're licensed or not. So even if you don't hire Parish, I would love it if you did, and we'd love to help you. But even if you don't hire Parish, make sure you hire a licensed contractor. We just hear so many of the horror stories of people who hire unlicensed contractors who do shoddy work, and they're gone with your money, and then you're left holding the bag, and you have to, a lot of times, you have to redo work, and it ends up becoming more costly. Do it right the first time. We'd love to help you out. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We're not going to break. Muse, Paulie, and I will give you 3 takeaways each from the college football weekend. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. Remember, he's got they're up right now at LouisianaSports.net. Got to play on both of the MLB games and for Monday Night Football. They're underway in Philadelphia, Dodgers and Phillies. No score, mid-2. So if you want to get the play, you can get it at LouisianaSports.net. Jimmy will give them out here in about 15 minutes. All right, we'll do our college football takeaways when we return on AFR.
AFR.
Now's the time to call River City's 1 Hour Air. Get that heater safety check. I always encourage you to do this. Do not wait for it to get cold and turn on your heater before you get it serviced. You want to make sure you call River City's 1 Hour Air to have them come by, give you the heater safety check to make sure your heater is safe and efficient and cleaned before you turn it on. Now, if you procrastinate and you wait, and then you hear funny noises or you have funny smells from the heater, River City's 1 Hour Air can help. Remember, with that heater safety check, mention the show, mention the Moscona special, and they'll knock $30 off the price. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, they played college football this weekend. Muse, Paulie, and I watched, and so here's what we think was important.
Another week in the books. What did we learn about the landscape of college football?
All right. Start us off there, Matthew Orenthal, Musa.
That's no. That's not it at all. But I'd love to start you off here.
Okay.
So, looks like Texas A&M and Mike Elko finally found that defense. That's 2 really impressive weeks for Texas A&M, and especially against Mississippi State on Saturday, man. Their defensive line really, really showed out in that ball game. So the defense was really your question mark for A&M the first couple of weeks. About 19 points in their last 8 quarters. The offenses look pretty good. Yeah, look out for those Aggies. 5-0.
I mean, all I know is that somebody picked them as the team to finally break through this year. People love to point out when we're wrong.
They do love to do that.
I know. I'm wrong a lot.
Well, I mean,
but I'm right sometimes.
Yeah. That's everybody. I feel like you're wrong more than you're right if you're just human.
Wrong more than you're right?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think so. What's my record on my picks, Paulie, for the season? I'm right more than I'm wrong. Barely.
It doesn't have to just be sports-wise. I just mean, kind of in general.
Paulie!
Is Texas Tech the class of the Big 12?
Seems like we ask that question every week about a different team.
That's why the Big 12 is so much fun.
Texas Tech, Houston, TCU, Utah,
Iowa State.
Did we ask it about Iowa State?
I did.
Did we? Oh.
I did. They're 5-0.
You're stupid.
Not right all the time, happens.
Iowa State. All right, Paulie. Onward with whatever you were talking about. Texas Tech, yeah.
Yeah, they knocked off Houston 35-11 over the weekend.
Yeah, saw that.
Baron Morton threw for 345 yards and a touchdown. It's the first time the Red Raiders have won their first 5 games since opening the 2013 season 7-0. It's their 8th 5-0 start in school history. The Red Raiders should be favored in every game the rest of the way. Could Joey Maguire's team easily reach Dallas 12-0?
Who was the quarterback in 2013 when they were undefeated?
Is that a young Patrick Mahomes? Was that a freshman Mahomes? 15 was his draft year.
Did he play as a freshman?
I don't remember. Let's look it up.
My turn?
It is your turn.
Oh, the preseason number 1 and 2 teams in the country. Remember who they were?
I do, actually, yes.
Yeah. There's Texas and Penn State.
Hmm?
Neither is ranked. Texas lost to Florida. Penn State lost to UCLA.
Yeah, he did. They were down by 20 at halftime.
Those sleepy little Saturdays. What? Who is it?
A combination of Davis Webb and Baker Mayfield.
Davis Webb.
Davis Webb, bro.
Oh, man. Davis Webb. And Webb was the highly recruited guy, and Baker was the walk-on, and Baker ended up beating him out, but they wanted to go with Webb, and so they told Baker to kick rocks, and he went to Oklahoma and won a Heisman.
Yes, he did.
Idiots. Way to go, Texas Tech. Stay hot, morons.
You were
anyway, Texas and Penn State, they stink, and that's why preseason polls are stupid and why we should never do them, but we keep doing them anyway. And people always ask me, what do you think about the preseason poll? I said, I don't care. It's stupid. Just like the stupid rankings from those stupid people in the hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas that are going to come out starting in a few weeks. And I'm going to say it then too. They're stupid and I don't care. Go ahead.
I believe the month of October sets up for Ty Simpson to be the Heisman favorite heading into November, where the award is actually won. But he's off to a great start, just the one turnover. I mean, he's slinging it all over the place. And now you have a game at a top 15 Missouri team off of a big win. And then the third Saturday in October against Tennessee. He goes out and puts up big numbers in there with 2 Rena wins after in the month of October. You could be looking at Ty Simpson as your Heisman favorite when LSU heads to Tuscaloosa the second week of November.
Cool.
So, Matt, you mentioned Penn State. The reason they stink is because they lost to UCLA, and UCLA might have delivered one of the coolest college football moments over the weekend. So they turned to 33-year-old interim offensive coordinator Jerry Neuheisel.
Got him.
Who's a former Bruins quarterback and the son of the program legend Rick Neuheisel. They scored a season-high 42 points and racked up 435 yards of offense. The cool moment was that UCLA carried Neuheisel off the field, raising his arms, hair flowing. It was just a beautiful moment.
He's got great hair.
A little odd.
I love it.
It's like long and thin. He looks just like his dad, too.
Yeah.
I think Miami's the best team in college football so far, but at this point of the season, they didn't just beat Florida State. Do not be deceived by that score. I watched the entirety of it. That was a beat down. Florida State had a nice drive to open the game. They settled for a field goal and then didn't really threaten again. Florida State scored 19 points in the fourth quarter when the game was over, but Miami dominated that football game, and they do look like the best team in the country right
All right, Virginia. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you now.
Got it, babe.
You had Fieldstorm Fade working against you, unranked over the ranked.
All of it.
And you went and won. In overtime, again, there is no Clemson, there is no Miami on that schedule remaining. Might they find themselves in the ACC Championship? Maybe. It doesn't matter. I think they'd lose to Miami. But one thing's for sure, that team's going to be ready every week under Tony Elliott. I think he's proved that so far.
Air Force and Navy, they actually scored some points on Saturday.
Hey!
The midshipmen outlasted Air Force 34-31. Quarterback Blake Horvath had a career-high 339 passing yards. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Good helmet by Air Force in that game.
And since we're talking about Big 12 teams, how about it, Muse?
Who we got?
Cincinnati!
They are!
Unranked, beating ranked.
Yet again.
Watch out for those Bearcats. Paulie, could Cincinnati potentially be the best team? And I see your Texas Tech, and I raise you Cincinnati. That season opening loss to Nebraska, the only blemish. By the way, losing to Nebraska is embarrassing. Clean it up, Cincinnati. You stink. All right, there you have it. That's our college football takeaways. Thank you for being here with us. Right there, Paulie. Right there. Go right there. Paulie, go to that one. Paulie, go to that one. Thank you. Wow. There we go. All right, it's after further review. Look at Kane over there. Here in the Raising Cane studio. Appreciate Todd Graves, Aaron, the whole crew over at Canes. They're awesome. New studio sponsor. We're fired up to have them. All right, it's after further review, y'all. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. One thing left to do. We got to get to Otter Locks. Jimmy's got plays on MLB and Monday Night Football. We'll do that to wrap up next here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. And big shout out to Matt Lee, an avid AFR listener. Darren James sent me this photo earlier today. He recognized Darren was eating lunch at George's. I don't know which George's this is, but he was at George's and recognized the Agent 225 shirt, shouted out Darren James, said, "Hey, Darren James from Scone Show." You darn right. Shout out to Matt Lee over at George's. Shout out to all the people at George's as well. Thanks for listening. Big shout out as always to Darren James. Agent225.com is the website. Agent225.com. Thinking of buying a home, thinking of selling your home, hire the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Hire Darren James. And your first step should be finding out how much your home is worth. You can do that with the home value tool right there on the homepage at agent225.com. Agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. One thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew? Happy Monday.
Well, it is a happy Monday because we had a hell of a week on Football Sunday. I keep telling people, you got to listen to Football Sunday, 10 to noon.
Yesterday is not sustainable, though. Yesterday was really good.
Or you go to LouisianaSports.net. We post the picks there. What did Muse just tell me? 21-5 yesterday?
Yeah, I was responsible for 40% of those losses. A modest 3-2 day, but
here
3-2. But Hanny 3-0, Matt 3-0, Humans 2-0, Wes Reynolds 2-0, Bruce Marshall 2-0 with a money line on Tampa Bay. And it was a hell of a day. Really, really. And one of the losses was a hook on. They scored 46 in the Colts Raiders. It was over 46.5 for Chris Macero. So I'm proud of my crew, man.
Wait, I think I played. Hang on.
Well, we're at the Queen.
Yeah.
We will cite DraftKings
there it is.
Lines
yep.
while we're there.
Yep, there it is.
When we are at the Caesars in New Orleans, we will cite the numbers there to be fair.
No, so you're I played it at 46.5 and it ended 40-6, so we lost by the hook. So yes, got it. Okay, I thought we had won that one, but maybe I just I was counting my chickens before they hatched.
Gino threw to the wrong team on their side of the field too much. We wanted him to throw the wrong team on their own side of the field. But anyway, and the Colts kicker got hurt, so they had to go for 2 every time, including 1 for the 12-yard line. So that's a little sting right there as well. But no, man, proud of the guys, man. I'm proud of the show, and we just have it's a great time doing it, man. So 10 a.m. to noon every Sunday between the Queen and Baton Rouge and Caesars in New Orleans.
All right, now I know one of the bets was a teaser, which Muse was saying there was a problem with, but Jimmy, it's still active. I mean, I played it. It was one of Andy's picks. I played it, so I teased the Broncos, the Seahawks, and now I have Jacksonville plus 10.5 tonight.
It was Tampa Bay. Was the tease
instead of who?
Yeah, Seattle, who they played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it worked because I had Seattle plus 4.5 on the teaser, and I'm still. So I had Broncos plus 11.5, Seattle plus 4.5, Jacksonville plus 10.5, coming back at plus 118. So,
rarely does an experienced handicapper tease over 0. Okay, so no, that's what he was doing there. So he's got that riding tonight to close out, which would pay more than even money.
Yeah. Plus $1.18
with Jacksonville. But my most respected guy, you know who it is.
Yeah, Randy
McKay at RR39. He came with Kansas City. He had Kansas City last week. He's got Kansas City this week. I don't like the game. I've gone against Randy very rarely, but I'm not doing it tonight. So I'm gonna ride with him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ride with Andy's teaser plus 9.5 with Jacksonville closing that out, and I'm going to go with Kansas City minus 3.5. So when in doubt, back the big dog. So we're fortunate to have him as part of the show. So we're going to go with Kansas City minus the 3.5. Gave out the Dodgers earlier today on LouisianaSports.net. Bottom of the third, no score. Phillies with a runner at first and nobody out. Snell does have good stuff. Dodgers left 2 on, 1 out, a shot to right field, but Sosa ran it down, or the Dodgers would be up 2-0 at this point. But Snell does have his good stuff as he strikes out Trey Turner for the second time in this game. So
1 minute remaining.
He came into great form. And in tonight's game, Milwaukee, they're going with the openers. Ashfield start. He'll go an inning or two. But this is a staff that is built with tons of relievers to do this against the Cubs. You saw them respond with the Cubs with a solo shot to lead off the game. They responded with 6 in the first and 3 in the second. Milwaukee, I think, is just too strong here. Special team this year. I like in the Cubs pitcher, good season, but in shaky form coming in. Brewers tonight, later on in MLB.
All right, Brewers. You can still in-game the Dodgers. It's minus $1.19 right now, so you can still get a good price on it. And then we'll
that was the opening price, so that's good.
And then we'll roll with the Chiefs, lane 3.5. Where are you tomorrow?
We're at Mike Anderson's on Lee, just off of Nicholson.
All right, Otter. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Good luck.
All right. It's after further review. Just about to get out of here. Muse Pauly, thanks. You missed anything? AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Hunting season's open. Y'all know that. Deer season started 5 days ago. And if you're sharing a lease, you don't want to share a lease. I know that much. Talking to enough deer hunters over my lifetime, you'd rather have your own piece of property. So how does that happen? We'll start by calling First South Farm Credit. See, First South Farm Credit has been first in agriculture, first in recreational properties, first when it comes to buying that land for your dream home since 1916, more than 100 years, man. And when you do something, one thing, for more than 100 years, you get pretty darn good at it. And that's what they do at First South Farm Credit. Business with a handshake, business on the side of the road. If they got to meet you there, close a deal, they'll do it. They're just the best. Introduce yourself to our friends today at First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthland.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.